Welcome to SHIP Region 5 SHPEtinas virtual conference series, a conference to inspire, empower, and educate women in STEM. We had 8 fantastic speakers, and we are so excited to share their sessions on our channel. We hope you enjoy. Our keynote was Dr. Karen Lozano. Dr. Lozano is a Julia Beekle Endowed Professor and the Director of the Nanotechnology Center at the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. Throughout her career, Dr. Lozano has been recognized as Engineer of the Year by Great Minds in STEM, as a National Academy of Inventors Fellow, and most recently, she received the 2019 U.S. Presidential Award for Excellence in Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Mentoring. Her research consists of over 130 publications and over 6,400 citations in the areas of material science, nanotechnology, and polymeric materials. Dr. Lozano has successfully applied and received multiple research grants under the National Science Foundation to fund her research team of undergraduate and graduate students. Over the years, more than 200 students have participated in her research team, and she served as the thesis director of more than 30 master's students, where over 20% were Hispanic women, all who were previously undergraduate research assistants in her research team. In addition to all the time she invests in her career, Dr. Lozano equally invests her time in giving back and promoting STEM to the community. Multiple times throughout the year, the Nano Research Team have STEM camps and lab tours for K-12 students, showcasing science magic shows and the latest instruments available in the research lab. Additionally, Dr. Lozano hosts a bilingual channel on YouTube called Karen's Lab, which we will link in the description box down below, where she teaches and performs experiments in an effort to promote STEM to our younger generations. If there were one thing to say that we learned from her, it would be exactly what her keynote is named: go to a place where you could make a difference, and she is the perfect person to guide us there. She's an endowed professor, a scientist, an engineer, an inventor, an entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and a mother. We hope you enjoy our keynote speaker, Dr. Karen Lozano.
So, thank you and congratulations to all of you, I think, for being here. I was connecting on and off. We're working on a proposal, so we kind of had like a lot of things that had to happen today for the planning. But I was connecting on and off and seeing the amazing attendance and the amazing speakers, and you ladies, the organizers. Hats off to you. You're very young and you're doing all of this, and it really, you're making a difference. So congratulations to all of you that are attending. Congratulations. I say that always the number one thing for success is show up. Okay, if you don't show up, then you miss a lot of things. Okay, so congratulations for all of you for doing the number one thing. You're doing many more, but the number one thing. So go to a place where you can make a difference. Where is that place? What is that place? How do you get to that place? And why do you want to go to that place? There's a lot of questions. Do you need to know the answers to all of those questions a priori? Not really. I will be lying to you if I tell you I knew exactly. So this is me, right? Several years ago. Did I know exactly, what I wanted to do? Of course, not at that age, but, maybe a little older. Did I knew what I wanted to do? Did I, kind of stress a lot because I didn't know what I wanted to do? Did I feel lost because I didn't know what I wanted to do? Maybe at some times, but I think right now I see a lot more of that in the youth. They finish high school and they have to take a year off because they need to find themselves. And they don't know what they're going to do. And everything's too hard. And everything is like, I have to know what is it. And not necessarily. I don't think this girl, he had all of those questions. And how is it that this girl went from that girl to being invited to the White House twice in 2013 with President Obama? This is the little girl, well, a lot older. And then last year with President Trump. So how come is that, 2 presidents back to back, and I was invited, not for like the Easter egg hunt, but to actually, be there and sit at the table, at the Oval Office and share an hour talking to the president. What happened? What happened with this girl that this happened? How come is that this girl became the inventor, the chief technology officer, the co-founder of a company that won very prestigious awards at the world level? We got, the R&D 100, who is the basically top 100 technologies in the world. We got the top 100 global green technologies or something like that. We got, many different awards. What happened? How was the transition from there to here? And what is it exactly that, I guess, occur in that particular times within my mind? So that is a little bit of what I want to, I guess, tell you. I'm not going to go in detail. I guess Susie mentioned about the TEDx talk. I recommend you watch it, and that will tell you a little bit more about the story. I don't want to repeat the story, and then every time you listen to me, you listen to the same story. So I don't want to repeat that story with, the nano and the nanofibers, and we're not going to talk anything about nano. We're going to do it a little different. And I guess I would like to also have some time at the end if you want, or have some questions, but we're going to do it a little different. So watch this talk, if you want to learn a little bit more about what happened, why is that I was invited to the White House, how is it that I founded the company, all of that. It's here on the TED Talk. So I will skip that. So I have some questions. So the questions, I think, who wants to be successful in your professional career, in your life? If you want to, I guess, raise your hands, or, who wants to do that? Okay, good. I think, okay, I see hands there. So I think, that's probably, an easy question for, I guess, how to say it, girls that have a lot of inner drive. That's a very easy question, right? The other question is, do you know how to get there? That's a little harder, right? It's a little harder, and that's what we will talk about today. And do you know what is success? And how do you measure success, or how do you feel successful? So we're going to also talk about that. So for me, I think the number one thing that I always say, and this is, I said it in the TED Talk, and I'm going to repeat it here, is that remove your passion thinking, okay? Pursue your passion thinking. That has been like kind of a hot word. Everybody says, pursue your passion. Do something that you love. If you do something that you love, you will never work a day. Meaning you will still work hard, but it's a little bit, I guess, a little bit could confuse people. And why it could confuse people? Because many times at even your age, I had no idea that I was going to do a PhD when I was graduating from, I was on my senior design project. I had no idea what graduate school was. The university that I graduated, Universidad de Monterrey, in Monterrey, Mexico, I only had one professor that had a PhD. All the other professors that had taught me all through my mechanical, I have like double major, mechanical engineering and business. All the other professors that taught me, none, zero, had a PhD. So I had no idea about graduate school. I had no idea about masters. I had no idea PhD. I had no idea about universities in the United States. Okay, so and here I am, on my senior design project, and I had no idea about any of that. So so I wasn't, I guess, worried too much about the pursue your passion, or even, as I said, at the college age. I had it easy, and I said I had it easy because I had a lot of needs. And when you have needs, you have one way out, and that one way out is you have to make it. If they ask me to clean windows, I'm going to clean windows, but I have to make it, right? So my parents, there were a lot of needs in my house. My dad, he was older. They had me at probably, I will say at an older age. So there was a lot of issues. So my parents married a little, probably not traditional at that age, a little older. And then they had problems conceiving. So, and back then, it was even worse. So I was kind of like a miracle baby. So it took them 8 years for me to, for them to conceive me. And my mom tells me all these stories that she went into, like, all of these supposed fertility stuff, but back then, and even when she got pregnant, they just couldn't believe, she was pregnant. And so anyway, so they had me at a little older age. I knew they were about to retire. I knew, my mom was a seamstress. She will make uniforms for school. All my clothes till like my graduation dress from high school, the clothes that I wore when I wore when I did my senior design defense, or my presentation. My mom did that. All my skirts, my blouses, everything was made by my mom, because back then fabrics were cheap, and we didn't have money. So, and she was I was I guess she was designing very beautiful stuff. So my dad used to supply fruits and vegetables to restaurants, and he will wake up like at 4 a.m. to go to the Mercado de Abastos, and then carry like big sacks of potatoes and tomatoes and all of that, put it in the little truck, and then go and deliver to restaurants. And I didn't want to see them like that, and I knew he couldn't do it much longer because he was getting older. So I had it easy. I knew I had to take care of them. I wasn't expecting the government to, here in the United States, everybody blames everything on the government. The government needs to take care of you, and the government needs to give you money, and the government needs to give you this and that. So, it wasn't the case in Mexico. So I knew I needed to be the one that was going to supply for them. So as I said, if I had to clean windows, I was going to clean windows. So that's, I didn't have the luxury. If you have it, and you have, what your passion is, and you have the means, by all means. But so don't take me wrong on this. This is personal experience, but that's what I say. I had it easy because I had a need, and that need was taking care of my parents and helping my family. So so as I said, did I know I wanted to pursue a PhD? Of course not. Was it hard? Yeah, it was super hard. What did I do? There were some professors from Rice University that show up at my university as an outreach. I show up. Number one thing, you need to show up to stuff. I show up, and they basically started convincing me to go and get a PhD. They explained what it was. Rice University, I've never heard of that university. I have no idea what it was. They told me Houston. Oh, Houston, I'm familiar with Houston. Okay. So then I applied. I was granted the opportunity to go. They were paying me $1,000 a month. And I was like, that's it. It's a deal. That's $1,000. You transfer, exchange that to pesos, and I have money to send to my family. Deal. Where do I sign? So, so I went there. I was eating with a budget of $25 a week. I was buying like the sacks of potatoes, and I will just boil a potato with water. So my friends will be having lunch at the cafeteria or so, and it was like $5 the lunch. I couldn't afford that. So so they will ask me, aren't you gonna eat? I said, no, I'm not hungry. And I went like that, for years, eating basically potatoes, powdered milk, and, and everything that I could do to save a lot of money. My treat, it was like every Saturday I will go to the vending machine and I will buy a moon pie for 25 cents. And that was like, I would eat the moon pie super slowly. That was my treat for a lot of time. So anyways, it was hard. I didn't have it easy, but I knew that I needed to take that opportunity. So when I said remove your pursuit of passion, is don't pursue a passion, pursue an opportunity, and become passionately crazy about that opportunity. And then, you will make it. It will be great. So I actually graduated from Rice. I was the 5th woman to obtain the mechanical engineering PhD in 85 years back then. I was the first Mexican woman to obtain a PhD from Rice University. I found out that not when I was a student, because it was very hard. And if I would have known that, then I might have, added more stress. I found out the day I graduated, this picture made it to the newspaper, and that's where they put all of that. That I was the first this and first that and whatever. So as I said, it wasn't hard. It wasn't easy, but anyways, time was gonna pass. So I'm very happy I did it. I didn't plan it. I just did it. The key ingredients if you work on an opportunity, the key ingredients are hard work, personal responsibility, and innovation. So what is it that I mean by hard work? Well, I guess if you do all of this, I always say magically, all your dreams are going to come true if you have some dreams. I honestly never really had a dream. I never said I want a PhD. Then when I got the PhD, I never said I want to be a professor. Then when I became a professor, I never said I want to win this award, or I want to win this award, or I found a company, or none of that was on my dreams. So I kind of leave, the moment, and I work very hard on that moment and do my best. So then that moment becomes something that I probably never dreamt of. I don't know if some of you know, maybe Omar. I don't know if Omar knows the story of how I ended up at Utrgv or at UTPA. You know that one? Yes. So I was driving down from Houston to a wedding, and I had just graduated from Rice. It was July. I graduated in May, and I was doing a postdoc at Rice, and I was driving down, and we saw on 77 a big ad says University of Texas Pan American that way. And I'm like, well, there's a university here. I didn't know it. So we deroute it, went in. It was the middle of the summer, 1999. Not really much going on. And my mom, my son, my husband, and I were in the car. So we parked, started walking around, and we saw engineering buildings. Like, they have engineering. This is amazing. So we went inside, and as soon as we opened the door, it was just meant to be. So as soon as we opened the door, Dr. Lemaster, who used to be our dean, he was passing by. So we crashed, emptied the building. So he's like, oh, can I help you? I'm like 26, 27 years old, my son and my husband, my mom. So he's like, okay, you don't seem to belong here. So, and I said, no, you know what? And we were just looking, and we passing, and said, oh, let me give you a tour. So then he took us to the labs. The labs were empty, just the shelves. My labs, were nothing. So just the shelves. And he took me around, and the building was kind of new. He was so proud of the building. We chat. He said, send me your resume. It's like, no, I'm not looking for a job. And he's like, we'll just send it anyway so we can keep in touch. It's like, okay, fine. So I sent my resume. 3 weeks later, I received a rejection letter from Dr. Timmer that thank you for applying to the job, but we had already hired a candidate, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I never applied, but anyways, good to know that I got rejected without applying. So, and then that was it. So September comes, and then I get a letter. I show up to my office at Rice, and I have the secretary comes looking for me. They're, these people are looking for you. My advisor or my boss, I had already graduated, so my boss is like, people from this university are calling. They need to talk to you. I had a message on the answering machine in the lab. So I call, and Dr. Bose, Dr. Subhash Bose, who was the chair of manufacturing, he gets the call, and he's like, oh yeah, so we had hired, it was September, the first week of classes, and it was a Tuesday. So he's like, so we have hired a professor, and he has problem with his visa. So can you start here next Monday? And I'm like, what? Who? Where? How? Like, and then so I'm like, no, sorry, I cannot. And he's like, why not? I said, I don't know who you are. I've never interviewed. I just don't know the place. And he's like, well, can you come for an interview? It's like, okay, when? He said, how about Thursday? So I'm talking to them Tuesday morning. So I flew Thursday morning with my son. He was 2 years old. So I flew with my son. My mom drove from Monterrey. We met at the airport. We exchanged the baby. And then I went to the university. And so I had that whole day interviews, Dr. Jones, Dr. Lemaster, Dr. Gonzalez, everybody, were interviewing. And then finally in the afternoon, they say, okay, yeah, we're ready to make you an offer. Can you start Monday? And I'm like, no, I cannot start Monday. So then, so anyways, we went back and forth. They told me, we're gonna miss the opportunity. If you don't sign up, the provost is gonna take away the position. I said, I'm sorry, it's probably not for me, but I have a son, my husband's finishing the master's. I have a job right now. I cannot just tell my boss that I'm not coming back next week. So no, I'm sorry. So if you wait until January, then maybe we can talk. And then, so we went back and forth every night. They were calling me, and finally they said, okay, yes, we'll wait for January. So I joined January 2000. I think it was one of the best things that could have happened, and I'll tell you more a little bit in a minute. So I guess let's do a little bit of the hard work. The hard work is basically, you have to do it. You have to deal with it. There's no easy way out. There's a lot of things that happen. Life throws at you a lot of different battles. It throws a lot of different difficult people. Sometimes I just had a talk with one of my students yesterday that they were arguing through WhatsApp, with the professor, and they were, and I'm like, hold on. So anyways, I talked to my student and I said, don't feel bad. You will find difficult people in your life. There's no way around. So what happened is what you have to do is you actually have to be thankful for all of those people, because they provide you an opportunity to learn. They provide you an opportunity to learn how to handle situations. So you might not, if you don't know this in advance, when you go into those situations, you get too stressed. You might get confrontational. So don't, be aware that that's going to happen. Just deal with it in the best way. You are the professional one. Don't go to their level. So the other thing that's going to happen, your job might be hard. Your hours might be hard. It might be stressful. There's, people tell me, oh, it's because for you it's easy because you know how to write proposals. Well, I've written like 150 proposals. So to a point, it has to come easy, right? But the first one, you get a huge headache. You feel bad. It's not easy. Many years I went with, sleeping maybe 5 hours a night. I'm not saying do it, but sometimes it's what it is, right? So so it's not easy. Your life is going to throw at you diseases. I don't know. I don't think many know, but I have multiple sclerosis. So I don't think many people know that. I think, Omar, I shared with you recently, but I've had it for 20 years, right? And I had two options. So option one was, okay, I have to quit and I have to take care of me, and that's it, right? So I'm not going to care about anybody, and I'm just going to care about me. Well, that's maybe a good thing. That's maybe a good attitude. If, nobody guarantees me that because I do that, I'm going to live to 100. And nobody guarantees me because I do that, the quality of life is going to be good to 100. Nobody also guarantees me that because I stress and I work too hard, I'm going to die at, 50 or, so that's not guaranteed. So if you take the route of not doing anything and not impacting anybody and not helping anybody, time passes anyways. So if time passes by you working hard and helping people, good. If time passes by you sitting on a rocking chair, good. It's gonna pass anyways. So so you have to deal with it. So if you learn to deal with it, it is a big, I think, it serves two purposes. One, that at least you're being useful. That, if you're not being a load, that's what I said, you're not being a load to society. You're doing something useful. You're paying your ticket back. You're paying it forward. And and it is what it is. What I tell my sons all the time is like, for example, don't drink and drive. Don't, that's, you get into problems easily. You're looking for trouble. Life will give you trouble without you asking for it. So don't look for trouble. Okay. So, and then, and when you get that trouble, just deal with it. There's nothing that you can do. Just deal with it. A lot of people tells me, and as I said, for 20 years, I guess nobody knew of this condition. A lot of people tell me that that I might not understand their situation because I never had any trouble and I don't have problems. And I'm like, okay, well, let's bring the coffee maker and let's sit and then we can chat, right? If you want to hear problems, let's talk about problems, right? So, and that's of course not the way we should do it. I'm not saying hide everything, but I don't think that's the way to go. I was hearing one of the presenters talking about that when kids and so forth. If you want, you're going to have kids eventually. I see a baby in the screen. So you're going to have kids. They're the most awesome thing on earth, and it's an amazing thing or amazing, I guess, blessing. But I see right now, like on Twitter, and everybody is kind of the generation of complaining. It's like everybody complains. Yes, I need a year off because I'm having my baby. I need, my advisor sent me an email at 3 a.m. What is he, crazy? Is he expecting me to reply at 3 a.m.? Come on, give it a break. He sent at 3 a.m. because that's the time he's working. He's not expecting you to reply at 3 a.m., but that's the time he's working. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I have stuff to answer, I will work and I will do it. I'm not expecting you to answer at the time. If you do, great. If you don't, but give it a break. Don't complain for everything. So, so with my kids, I had my first one on a Saturday morning. I was back to school the following Friday. So I actually started doing homework on the Tuesday after he was born. So he was Saturday, well, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I already started doing homework, and I was back at the university driving with him on Friday. Poor guy, he started going to university when he was like a week old. And that's why I put him on the slide that he graduated and I dressed him up because the guy stayed in my lab. When I show up and I thought my advisor was going to kick me out and say, well, like I had the Mexican stereotype. You get pregnant, you're fired. So I thought that was going to happen to me. And my advisor, he was such an angel. I show up and he's like, oh, okay, you know what? There's a lab downstairs and nobody's using. Why don't you bring the playpen and the swing and then you can have the baby there? So he grew up in my lab the whole first year. And Maria, the lady that used the janitor of the building, she will come and like if I had to run somewhere, she will just watch him for like 5 minutes. He will go to my classes in the kangaroo bag, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because he was born in September 28th in the beginning of the semester. So, so it was crazy. My second child, he was born a week before spring break. He was born premature. And a week after he was born, my dad passed away. So I think it was very sad. It was probably one of the saddest times of my life. So we went to Mexico. So basically he was in ICU, the baby in the neonatal ICU. He got released Saturday morning. And an hour after we got to the house, we got the call that my dad had passed away. So we basically took him and went to Mexico. I spent spring break in Mexico that week in Mexico, and then came back and started teaching my class. I was teaching a class Monday, Wednesdays at night. I had a C-section, and I was back teaching my class at 2.5 weeks after he was born. And yeah, it wasn't easy. So you're going to go through, a lot of these things, and you just have to deal with it. That's also hard work. That's it's not just the hard work of working hard in the office. It's actually the hard work of knowing how to deal with everything in life. But for your personal life and for your actual job, you have to be able to measure productivity. You can establish these positive circles, or you can establish these negative circles. And the negative circles is basically, and I've seen it, I see people that get into these green circles, and I see people that gets into these red circles. And the red circles, it's like you look at them and everything goes wrong. And one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. And it's like, oh man, how can I get you out of there? It's like I've seen from outside, and it's one after another after another. So so you have to be careful. You have to be careful not to fall in there. So so one thing is, don't complain. You spend a lot of energy complaining. Just work. Just do it. Just deal with it. Deal with it and move forward. Set feasible challenges. If I will have known, or if I will have said, I want to do a PhD, and after I do a PhD, I'm going to get the career award, which is, I got that award. It's the most prestigious award any scientist can get in the United States. I got that one the first year I joined Utrgv. I had no idea that existed, right? But knowing too much might play against you, because if you know too much, then you have all of these goals that might not be feasible. They will. You're totally capable. If I did all of that and I didn't even speak English, you guys are superstars. Okay, you have the world at your feet. But you just have to set feasible challenges. Okay, and it's okay not to have. It's okay not to have goals. It's if you said, I'm just gonna keep moving forward. It's okay. That was me. I never shoot for anything. So and it's okay. Okay, things just happen because you work hard. So don't feel bad if you don't say, by X, when I'm X, I have to be the general manager, or I have to be an inventor, or whatever. So have a plan for every day and score daily goals. That's very important. You cannot go a day without saying, I moved forward. Something happened, that I finished my homework, that I finished reading my book, that I finished writing, a chapter of whatever, that I call my parents, that I, became friends with somebody that wasn't, friends with, that I pray, every day you have to achieve something. Even on your rest days, it's okay to rest too. That's something that I learned at an old age, I guess. I went into this fast track mode when I was at Rice, and then it was very hard. It was like, it was very hard to kind of like, okay, yeah, today is a rest day. You need to learn to rest. But even when you rest, there has to be something. I sleep with my agenda. I'm still old-fashioned. So I sleep with my agenda right next to my bed, okay? And before I go to bed, I write down everything that I have to achieve the next day. And sometimes I don't. So then I scratch it, and then I write it down again. So there's some things when I have to write reports for the grants, especially some grants. I had one last year. It was so hard because it wasn't even mine, but it was just dumped on me. And it was like I was postponing and postponing and postponing. So it was on my agenda every single day. And I had other stuff to do until finally it's like I have to get rid of that. It's just like I just don't want to see it anymore in my agenda. So that's okay to do that. But you have to have a plan for every day and score daily goals. You have to generate forward problems. So sometimes you get, I guess, easy with you, and you're just like, I'm okay where I am. I don't want to stress. I see on Twitter every day that it's okay not to stress, that it's okay to live a simple life, that it's okay to, don't, just, if people want more from me, why, they didn't hire me for that? Why should I do that? And, that's kind of like the attitude I think all the times on Twitter. But don't generate forward problems. Challenge yourself on a daily basis. For any reason, just challenge yourself. And it's okay. It's okay to do that. Do your homework. Always be prepared. You're going to graduate soon. And what I mean by doing your homework means that you have to, if you show up in a meeting and you show up not knowing, anything about the meeting, Omar maybe will raise the point, and then he will say, oh, you know what? How about this? Because he did his homework. So who's going to get the promotion? So don't let Omar get the promotion. It's yours. Joking, but no, anyways, do your homework. Every time you're going to go to the meeting, homework doesn't mean you graduate from college and there's no more homework. You know, when you in your life, every day there's homework. Okay, so do it daily. Establish timelines, visualize, imagine, lead. Okay, and that's what you are all doing wonderfully. Personal responsibility. Take responsibility of your actions. Okay, don't blame others. Don't blame, don't blame the government. Don't blame, that if, we're Hispanic. Don't blame if we're this, if we're that. That's nonsense. Okay, if you work hard, your quality will show up. If you know how to lead, if you know how to move, that will show up a lot more than if you're just complaining the whole day, because you waste a lot of energy complaining the whole day and just finding whose fault it is and who's to blame. That's nonsense. So might as well, every time what people say, I know, like a friend once described me, dice, nunca se te atora la carreta. So meaning, like, how do you say that? Like, I guess it's hard for you to, like, for somebody to put a wall on me. If you put a wall on me, I'm going to go around it, or I'm going to go on top of it, right? Or I'm going to go underneath. Put it, you're just going to make it a little harder, but I'm used to it. I'm used to have it hard, because, just for the fact that you're a woman, just for the fact, and 20 years ago, when there were no women, I was the first professor at UTPA for many, many, many years. I was the only woman. I was the youngest one. So, basically my advisor was very smart, and he told me, don't let anybody belittle you because you're a woman. Don't let anybody baby you, okay, because you're so young. And that's true. Of course, I didn't come with an attitude like, it's me and I'm old and, I'm going to fight with you. Of course not, right? I was actually quiet. I'm quite extrovert, but in faculty meetings, I was quiet. When I first joined, I would stutter. Every time Dr. Jones, Dr. Crown, or Dr. Freeman will come and talk to me, I will be like, I couldn't talk, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible, because I just felt, I don't know. And then the more that I stutter, the more I felt that they were thinking, how come we hire her? She cannot even talk. So how can she teach a class if she cannot even talk? So then it was worse. So then what I decided is I'm not going to talk to them. I'm just not going to talk to them. I'm just, hi, bye, good day, bye, yes. And that was it. So for several years, actually maybe like a year and a half, I didn't talk in meetings. I didn't talk to them too much, and I just worked. So then I got the career award, then I got another award, then I got, millions for this and millions for that. And then eventually people started talking to me. So I'm like, okay, good. so then I don't have a problem. But yeah, it's okay not to, it's okay to, I guess, work on your own bubble and don't feel, that anything else needs to happen or that you depend on anybody else. You depend on your family and have your support system. I pray always, and I sign up for several, I guess, groups at church, and then people say, you already took this course, and say, yeah, but I'm very done, so I'm taking it again. And I just needed, that strength. So, and enjoy failure. Okay, well, the other one is, there's sometimes that you need to move, you need to pivot, but pivot means you stay with one feet grounded, you move the other one. It's not just like you just completely change everything. So you keep one foot grounded, you move the other one, and enjoy failure. Okay, that's the very key. The more that you fail, the more that you will develop that resiliency to spring back. And every time you fail and come up, you come up to a different level because you learn a lesson, and that's very important. Don't dwell on it. Don't get depressed. Just come up, and again and again and again and again. And that's the beauty of research. We fail 99% of the times, and that's we're experts at failing. Innovation. That's the third thing. So I said hard work, personal responsibility, and innovation. Innovation is not just patents. This is one patent that I have from in Russia. This is in Japan. This is here in the US. And so innovation is not just the patents. innovation is sometimes you have to reinvent yourself. You have to think in the morning. It's like, how am I gonna make it through the day? You have those days, and you have to think, okay, I need to do something to make it through the day. And that's innovation. Be creative, even at the personal level, not just like what you have to do in your job and what you have to achieve and how you're going to change the world or save the world. And that's too ambitious, right? Sometimes it's just invent yourself to go through the day, because we sometimes, as I said, we feel sick, or sometimes our brain just doesn't want to work. You sit and you want to work on a proposal, you want to work on a homework, you want to work on your senior design, you sit with your hands on the keyboard and you're like, not a key moves, because your brain can't think. And what do you do? If you were working on like a technical job, on the plant or something, or if you're doing, I don't know, drilling some holes, well, you drill one hole and another and another and another, right? But when you have to create on the computer, you probably have experiences. It's not just my age, right? But you probably have experiences that you sit and you're like, just to stare at the computer, like just like staring at the computer, and you have no idea how to deal with it. So those are the days that you have to work on the innovation. Okay, what do I do? Instead of sitting here for 3 hours pretending I'm doing something, then I stand up to go to the restroom, I come back and I look and I've just written one paragraph. So that is just a lot of waste of time. So then do something else, be creative and find a way to bring back that sense to your brain. So just do something else. And so I guess then now if we go back to, I guess, what is success? The definition is you basically is, so the success is basically the satisfaction of accomplishment. The more that you achieve, the more you get that feel good moment. And then it becomes addictive. It becomes addictive to achieve, okay? And believe me, you get one proposal funded, come on, you can do 2. If you get 2, come on, you can do 3. You get 1 patent, come on, you can do 2. Well, you get 2 in that, you can do 3. And then all of a sudden you have 30 patents all over the world, right? So all of a sudden, you graduate 1 student, come on, I can bring money for another one. And come on, and last year, our nano team, there were 83 members in the research team. So I don't think there are many groups in the United States or many research teams in the United States that have so many members. So, and the good thing is that once you graduate 1 student and you see how well they're doing, come on, you want to graduate more, and you want to graduate more, and you want to graduate more, and you want to see and cheer them from the bench, because you guys are achieving so much, and we're so proud of you. You can't imagine how much satisfaction it comes to us to now go and change the next generation, and the next one, and the next one. And even though sometimes we go to the classroom or the student comes and then it's like, oh, come on, you're going to give me green hair, right? Okay, so, okay, no, don't ask me that question, or don't do that, because, why did you do that? But then you look to the other side and then you see all the ones that at one point were exactly the same as the one that is in front of you, but the other ones are already leaders at companies. They're, top people, they're professors at a university, they're like working on their PhD. And then you look at this one, and it's like, okay, she was exactly like she is right now, and look at her. So yeah, okay, forget about the green hair, how can I help you? So, and then it's a different situation, right? So success for me is seeing all of you, everything that has happened to all of you and what will happen to all of you, that's what success means. So, so now we're going back to go to a place where you can make a difference. This, when I was debating if I should go to Utrgv, to UTPA or not, when they called me, this my friend Danny, he's well, he is an astronaut. He was my we share the office at Rice, And I told him, they're offering me from this university and I don't know what to do. And he told me, go to a place where you can make a difference. And at that point, I thought, okay, go to a place where you can make a difference. So that means, because I'm Hispanic, I have to go to a Hispanic place. I have never really looked at that point, but that's not exactly what he meant. That's at the beginning what I understood, right? But in reality, for me, it was quite crazy. My professors were against me joining UTPA because UTPA didn't have a PhD program. I was doing well in research. I was enjoying research. We were working on something very novel for my PhD. So my professors, one, not my advisor, but another professor in particular, he called me and he said, don't join that university because you're not going to be doing research. So don't join that university. It's a great university, don't take me wrong, but you're not going to be doing research. So then I am like, okay. And then Danny telling me, go to a place where you can make a difference. I'm like, okay, where's that place? Right? So so then I decided to join, selfish. I decided to join because it's 4 hours from Monterrey. Okay. So I needed to be close to my family. We are Hispanics. Okay. So we family is very important. So I needed to be close to my family. So I decided to join against maybe some advice. And of course, there was no research back then. The Office of Sponsored Research, I don't think, I was educating them on how to submit a grant and how to do a lot of the grant stuff. I was the first one ever to hire a postdoc. I needed to tell people what a postdoc was because nobody had ever hired a postdoctoral associate. The labs, the labs were just empty. There was like the materials lab was there, but there was like coursework. So I was the first one that started bringing money, the first one to like kind of a trailblazer for research. But I said, when I joined, I asked that question, can I do research? And it's like, yeah, we are really interested in research. Okay, will you support me? Yeah, we'll support you. Well, they still gave me 4 classes per semester, so it wasn't like, big, free ride, right? But anyways, I started working. As soon as I started getting money, they cut my my teaching load, I guess. And I wanted to make it work. So the place where you can make a difference is not written anywhere. Wherever you go, that will be the place where you can make a difference. Because I could have gone to Harvard, or I could have, maybe bragging, they will probably have never taken me, I don't know. But I could have gone to another place, and I'm pretty sure just because, you work hard, and you do your stuff, you can probably do something. But in here, as time passed by, I realized that it was the place for me to make a difference, because I basically was probably the first one to start moving the needle toward research, opening up opportunities for students, opening up opportunities for a lot of faculty, and basically realizing that when students get engaged with research, we had 100% retention and graduation. That's something that doesn't happen. The retention and graduation is certainly not 100%. And that's something that changes the lives of a lot of people. People that might not have thought of doing a master's, a PhD. Now we have 25 students that have graduated from the Nano team that already have a PhD, or yeah, I guess 25, and we have some that are right now on the pipeline to get a PhD. So that's the place where you can make a difference. It's not just because you are Hispanic or because you're African American or because you're whatever, right? It's just because you are you. And whatever place you are, you're going to make a difference because you have that big heart, you have that big desire to make a change. And that's, I think, these are, I'm very proud of all the students here. We have Omar, in here, we have Susie here. So yeah, I'm like all of these students that have gone, at least, well, they have been in the labs quite a bit. We have Nancy here. I don't know if you guys are on the girls team, but she just presented. Susie, you were there, I think, right? When Nancy presented, she said Emerson. We have Citlali, there's a lot of famous people in this picture, just like you. But so I think the place where you can make a difference is wherever you go and you do your hard work, your personal responsibility, your innovation, you bring your values, you bring your models, and you bring las ganas. If you bring that, that there's nothing can stop you. Not even people want to put that wall on top of you or in front of you. Also, there's some people that actually want to put it on top of you, but they will not stop you. It's okay. You're strong. You're smart. So, so I think one thing, as Susie said, if you want to follow the Karen's Lab on YouTube, we recently are starting to post things that happen in the lab, projects that the students are working in the lab. We have the Facebook one too, where I post when we publish a paper, when somebody gets an opportunity, if anything that happens, that one goes on Facebook. And then I'm gonna share this. This is a new, we are, as Susie said, that we're trying to do outreach activities. So let me, before it starts, okay, let me, hold on, I don't think I shared the sound. Let me share again. Okay, hold on. Messing up here. Okay, hold on. Can you hear the sound or not? No, right? Hold on. Let me start it again. Let me share. Share sound. Okay, here. Okay, so Susie was talking about the what we do with outreach. We are going to start an outreach with, this is kind of like a Broadway show, and it's supposed to be where we are supposed to reach to 10,000 kids per week. We have like functions like in the morning, shows 2 times a week for 1 week in January and another week in May. And it's really like a Broadway type show. Sadly, with the coronavirus, we cannot have it in the fine arts where we were going to have like a packed theater for like 10 functions per week. But right now we're going to have it through Zoom. So be on the lookout. It should be really cool. We are actually now dreaming, as I said, we don't dream, but now we're even thinking, oh, maybe even Netflix can get it one of these days or something like that, So we're going, a little bigger. So let me show you. It's 53 seconds.
Create energy.
Okay, so that's it. I think I hope you get it was worth your time. So I hope so. And I invite you to keep an eye on this Energy and You show. As soon as we have more, we'll keep on. We're not going to post much because we're going to keep it a little secret to the presentations, but we will certainly invite you to join the presentations. We're going to start doing it through Zoom some early January. And then after that, eventually we might probably make it public. But thank you so much, and congratulations to all of you. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lozano. The first time I saw that video, I got really bad goosebumps, to be honest. But yeah, it looks like we have about 5 minutes. If anybody would like to ask any questions, feel free to unmute yourselves. or you can also put it on the chat as well.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Well, first of all, I just want to say I really, really loved your talk. You're amazing.
Thank you.
But my question, of course, my question to you was, someone once told me that it's crucial to know when you're very tired on your absolute worst days, it's crucial to know when to rest and not quit. And I've tried very hard to adapt that into my life, but how do you personally recognize when it's time to rest and not quit? And
Okay, so that's a tough question. For many years, and I will say I started my PhD in 1994, and then till maybe 2010, I was going like on a fast track, and basically feeling guilty every time you have to, like if you rest or something, that's the guilt feeling. It's just not very good, but it happens. So so I think basically sometimes your body is smarter than you, so your body collapses on you, right? So you don't want that to happen. So that happened to me, and basically the body says, hey, you haven't been taking good care of yourself, now I'm ruling, right? And then it just, everything gives up, right? So but then of course then you realize, okay, well, I have to rest. So I think you start recognizing, your body will tell you. It's hard for you to say, today I'm resting. Of course you take your day. If you say, okay, Sundays I'm resting, okay, fine, then you make it a habit of Sundays resting. But sometimes it's Wednesday, sometimes your body just doesn't want to do anything on a Wednesday. So and Sunday you feel so good that you want to work on a Sunday. So so you just have to kind of look and go around with it. But that's what I said, the innovation. You have to reinvent yourself on a daily basis. Usually, you plan your day on a daily basis. But if you get into this kind of pattern of achievement, you just have to then be smart and say, okay, well, today I'm resting. And it's hard when you do mental work, because you carry it with you everywhere you go. Like if you work at an office, well, you leave at 5 and you leave, everything's there. Good luck till tomorrow. But when you work on like what I do, like mental work, actually, if you watch a TED Talk, the invention of what I ended up at the White House and all of that, it happened when I was watching an Elmo show with my sons at the arena. So I was at the arena and I'm thinking on my research. So yeah, it's very hard for you to isolate your mind from what you do. So, but yeah, always keep an eye on that. That's an important thing to do. And don't feel guilt when you have to take some time off. Use it. If you're doing it, do it. If don't, you're doing it anyway, so why are you going to feel guilty? Then you don't rest because you're feeling guilty. So that's the negative circle, right? So you're not working, but you're feeling guilty, so your mind is not resting, and then you're going to that negative circle, because now you have to go back to work, but you never rested. So
No, awesome, great advice. We actually do have another question from Maria. She's asking. She works as a mentor for freshmen, and she sees that they complain more and more, and it makes it hard for her to respond. That she has to consider to have, working hard. How do you communicate that they are complaining about small things and need to get on the ball without them getting offended? And what communication has worked best?
yeah, that's a tough question. Yeah, that's a tough question, because sadly, the personal responsibility is one thing, and sadly, I feel that's my way of thinking. In the U.S., a lot of the personal responsibility gets removed from the citizen. Because the government thinks that they have to give you everything, and they have to protect you, and they have to give you, and everybody complains and asks, and more and more and more. So then where is it that you actually have to be the one looking after yourself, right? So everything is somebody else's fault. So then people grow up thinking, okay, it's not me, it's somebody else's fault, and it's not me, it's somebody else's fault. So what I do, I I'm very outspoken when I go to meetings and stuff. As I said, when people come and say, pursue your passion, it's like, come on, then they complain, women, I know you're recording, so I might not say this. Omar knows me, but anyways, then people complain, why is it that women earn less money, or why isn't that, they earn, sometimes it's the choices, so if we look at the, I guess what people study, and you see that women actually, since 20 years ago, more women graduate from college than men. Any major that you will look, sciences, health, sociology, history, economics, Mexican American studies, whatever, there's more women graduating, except engineering. Engineering has been steady or has come down. Actually, it had come down a little bit in the last years. So I think we're like at 17, 18, something like that. There's a little less. But that's where I guess the good salaries are, right? So, and that's where, I guess the hard work and all of, I'm not saying all the other majors don't matter, they do, and we need to get, I guess the same, but I think, I don't know, I think people sometimes don't realize the importance of the hard work, because as I said, the more that you're given, we all have wings. We all are born with wings to fly, okay? But if somebody comes and give us something, and don't worry about this because you're gonna have it, and don't worry about that because you're gonna have it, and when I'm gonna fight for you to have free this, I'm gonna have for you to have free that, and I'm gonna fight for you to have free this. So why are you going to fight then? Why are you gonna use your wings? You start bending your wings and bending your wings and bending your wings until your wings don't work. So they cut your wings to fly. So every time somebody solves a problem for you, they cut your wings. So, so what do you want? Do you want somebody to solve a problem for you for, the next few years, but you stay stagnant? Or do you want to be free and be strong and exercise those wings so that you can fly as high as you can? What do you want? So, so I think for people that I sometimes, they say that that they don't want to work, and you find a hassle, I guess, a challenge to inspire them. I basically, I share the story. And you try your best to put things into perspective. If they complain about something, I say, well, you share, I guess, the story from, having, like, coming from another country and how you live in a different country and things like that. And I think just try to encourage them from every point of view. I think it's just the same, like the example that I say, if you guys are all in my classroom and it's a, difficult class, and I tell you, guys, the first day of class, I show up and I say, guys, don't worry, everybody in this class is going to make an A. I just want you to make your best effort, and I want you to turn your homeworks on time. I want you to attend class. I want you to make sure you do very well in the exam. I want you to study, but all of you are going to make an A. How many will actually study and learn from my class? Honestly. So, that's the same thing, when you start being given stuff, they're just, why will I work for it? Why will I use my wings? So yeah, that sadly is a problem. And I think you just have to be outspoken, and don't, I guess the same thing that my advisor told me, don't let anybody baby you. So you tell the people, I'm not going to pamper you, you have to do it because it's good for you. For me, it's okay. If you all stay at the same level, good for me. I'll have a job forever and ever because nobody will be able to take my job. So it's okay. But you want all of you to come and tell me, okay, get out of the way. Now it's my turn. Right? And I'm very close to that with you guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Lozano, for your amazing advice. Everyone, please help us give last thank you and one last time sharing her wisdom of words with us today. It was an honor to have you speak with us today. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. And also, if anybody would like to connect with Dr. Lozano, her LinkedIn button is on our website, so feel free to connect with her. She is an amazing mentor. And at this time, we will be concluding the event with a few closing remarks.
Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to continue staying updated with SHP Region 5, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Stay connected by following us on all our social media. Our Instagram is at SHPRegion5, our Facebook is at SHP.Region5, our Twitter is at SHP_Region5. We hope you could join us live for the second part of our SHPEtinas series. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.